Hi, good morning, friends. Today I'm working on an illustration that is based on a farm and it has chickens and goats. And so I thought it might be fun to break down how to draw a chicken using simple shapes. I'll be working in Procreate using my iPad and Apple Pencil, but you can use whatever stylus you like. You can even draw on paper if you'd like to. So come on with me and we'll get started. Okay, so let's get started. I have my canvas here. It's set at 3000 by 3000 pixels to square, which is nice to post on Instagram. I like to have a reference nearby, and when I'm traveling especially, I like to do this. I take my photos, you hold it down, and then you drag it over here to the side. And what that does is it gives you a split screen so that you actually have your reference that you're going to be using right there. And you can make that bigger or smaller if you want to. The way you make it smaller is you just kind of drag that bar over like this. So that way I have my reference here and I can make my canvas a little bit bigger as needed. I'll be working with the Apple Pencil 2. In Procreate, I have my own set of brushes that I like to use, but if you don't want to purchase any brushes yet, if you go to sketching, which is provided for Procreate pencil is great. Also, the 6B pencil is also great as well. So I'll use the 6B pencil today to sketch. Okay, if we're looking at the shape of the chicken, we have this great big shape right here, kind of like a big oval. Then we have a little triangle for the back of the chicken, the tail feathers, circle for the head. Then what's the shape of the beak? It'd be a triangle, right? Little eyeball. And you can put the little comb on, and you don't have to make it look exactly like the chicken. We're going to do something that's a little more stylized today, so be prepared for that. Okay, so I have my screen ready to go. I'm going to make sure that I have my first layer up right here for the start of my sketch. I have my 6B pencil provided by Procreate, and I'm going to make a big oval shape. It does not have to be perfect. That's not a perfect circle, right? Then I'm going to have my little shape of the tail here. And then I'm going to have my head, which is going to be over here. And we have a neck for the chicken. So we're going to connect it like this. And then I'm going to connect it down here like this. Okay, this is a very rough sketch. You can move it around. What I've noticed with Procreate is that once you move your sketch, you lose the resolution. It gets a little bit blurry. So be prepared for that you might have to resketch later if you don't like that Procreate does that. All right, so from here, I'm going to add on my beak. I'm going to add on my eyeball. Chickens always kind of look a little scared to me. Okay, then I'm just gonna do a little comb here, something fun. Doesn't have to be perfect. I don't really like that, so I'm gonna do 3 like that. And then we're gonna do the little part that hangs down here, the little wobble. All right, so for the wing part, I usually just do a little simple line like this maybe. And then they do have tail feathers, so maybe give a little bit of flair that way. You can add your feet. One kind of going out this way. They have this little piece that connects here. 1, 2, 3. Let's go on 3 toes. Might have to do a little bit of research to see how many toes chickens actually have. That's always a good idea. Not sure right now. But 3 is pretty cute. So there's our little chicken sketch. Okay, so now we're going to add color. And what I'm going to do is create a new layer and put it underneath my sketch layer. And we'll go back to the Freycinet. This is another one that Procreate provides. And I like it because it looks a little bit like watercolor when you're using it. But you want to bring up, let's see, the size to about 20%. I might even go down a little more. 10%. And that just makes the brush a little bit smaller. a little easier for you to control it, but I kind of like how it looks like it's kind of, it looks like it's feathery. Gives it some texture. Alright, come into that. And the newer Procreate brushes are pressure sensitive too, which is kind of nice. So if you press down really hard, you get more, looks like more pigment coming out. You don't press down as hard and you don't get as much. All right, I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller so I can do these little pieces in here of the leg. All right, so I'm gonna create another layer, keep the brush the same size, and I'm gonna work on the little wattles. There and there. And then again, another layer for the beak. I think I'm gonna do like a light gray. Looks like my chicken. And then for the legs, do a lighter gray. Try that, see how that looks. Okay, so once you have that, then you can take your, let's see, let's put the legs under the body. Just move that down like that. Okay. I think it might look nice if we put a little bit of a lighter color into the face so that the eyeball stands out more. Alright, so now I'm going to take down the opacity of my drawing a little bit so I can do the eyeball. And I'm going to use my darker gray, take my brush size down a little bit, and do my little eyeball. Finally, I'm going to do a couple little marks. Nope, it's too big. See if we can find something small. Let's try Little Pine. Make it a little bit smaller. Too small. On the wing, maybe a couple little lines to show movement in the wing. A couple little bit on the tail feathers. And maybe a little smile. And there you go. There's our little chicken in Procreate.